Okay, today what we're going to do is we're going to have some explanation about the 10 ox herding pictures. They're a pictorial representation of enlightenment and the path. So in the first picture, what you see is a student. He's young and he sets out to find the ox. Okay, he's actually off into the world, from the world into the mountains, and he's looking for the ox. Then in the next picture, he sees the footprints of the ox, and he starts to follow the footprints of the ox. After that, he sees the butt of the ox, and then the whole ox, and he's roped him, and he's fighting with the ox. Here, you can see he staked the ox to the ground, and the ox is turned half white. Here, the ox is fully white, and he is riding the ox. Here, the ox has disappeared, and it's just the student and nature. Here, the student and nature has disappeared, and we just have emptiness. Here, we just have nature as it is. And the last picture, you see an older man. The student has become the older man, the teacher, and he's actually teaching a student. So let's go over these kind of one by one. In the beginning, what happens is we look for the path. We look for a solution. Oftentimes, our life is uncomfortable. We feel a sense of suffering, or we can feel that longing for home. That longing for home is something that's innate in all human beings. This sense of there's something to be accomplished in life. So we go out and we're actually looking for truth. When you look for truth, you start to see the footprints of truth. You start to see clues along the way. All of us in our life, we've read books that have pointed us to the truth, or we've talked to people and maybe gotten a little glimpse of the truth, or we've had just natural inclinations of the truth in our everyday waking life. Here, you actually see the butt of the ox. So what is the ox? The ox and the boy, you can say the simplest way to talk about the ox is your karma, your habits, all of your reactions in life that have brought you to where you are. It's the state of your mind. So first, he sees the butt of the ox. He sees that his mind and his karma are involved in his path. Here, he's wrestling with the ox. He's wrestling with his karma. You can see that he's fighting very hard. Oftentimes in our lives, we might experience this quite a bit, where we're meditating and practicing. It feels as if we're wrestling with our karmas. We can feel it because we're in a more settled position. Here, he staked the ox to the ground, and the ox is turned half white. So the ox, as it's staked to the ground, it's staked to the ground of your practice. That's why oftentimes I tell patients and people, students, that it's better to have one solid practice. I like to quote the Albert Schweitzer quote, it's better to dig one well deep than to dig 9 wells shallow. So have one practice that you return to. You stake your practice to that practice, and your karma actually starts to clean itself, becomes white. So here, the mind, the karma, is clean, and the student is actually able to ride the ox. He's able to use the mind with freedom. You can guide the ox wherever you want to go. Here, the sense of mind and karma have gone away, and now there's just nature, but there's still a sense of self, a sense of separation. So the students you still see in the picture. Here is emptiness. An understanding and a deep penetration to impermanence and the fact that we are all interconnected without a unique sense of permanent center. So what that means is, in the simplest language, it's oneness. All things are connected, all things are interrelated. There is no you without me, and we're always changing. Enlightenment. Here, we've let go of enlightenment, and now we've returned to life as it is. In Zen, they say in the beginning, mountains are mountains and rivers are rivers. And then they say, as you start the path, mountains are not mountains and rivers are not rivers. But when you complete the path, mountains are mountains and rivers are rivers again. So in the beginning, before you even started on the path, you would see mountains and rivers and life was as it was. You were confused and you were looking for help. You go through this process, you attain enlightenment, and you see life as it is without the delusions that are keeping us from waking up. Life in its true reality, without this sense of separate self. Then, a very famous Zen master that I have tremendous appreciation for, Sungsan Sansanim, he had like one extra line that he would like to add on to mountains and mountains and rivers are rivers. He would say, after mountains and rivers are rivers again, then he would say, mountains and rivers, mountains are mountains and rivers are flowing. So flowing is the sense of what is one's purpose. Here you see one's purpose. You see the student has become old. In the traditional picture, you sometimes see a teacher going down to a village in the distance, and it says, the teacher returns to the village with bliss restoring hands. I really like that expression, bliss restoring hands. It just means a person who's gone through the process, who's woken, who's cleaned their karma, and now has understood the reality of life, and he's gone back to teach others, to remove people from to help people wake up from the shackles of their delusion. And then here he also has a student that's come to seek him and to learn from him. So our purpose is to help other human beings. So this is the 10 ox herding pictures. It's a pictorial representation of the path to our true selves and our true purpose in life. I hope you enjoyed it.